College Gym Vids fan, take two. Going live on YouTube. Streaming live on YouTube. College Gym Vids fan, take two. Going live on YouTube. Streaming live on YouTube. Okay, the documentary series Yoga Woman, narrated by Annette Bening, is available on it's available for free on Pluto, Iptv. It's also available on Tubi, which is like an IPTV app. Let's see, basically, you just, on your Roku streaming stick, you just search yoga woman. See, there it is. Okay, now. Okay, I click on the picture. See, so on the Roku channel, it's available for free. Freebie by Amazon also has it. Tubi has it. And Gravitas Movies has it. Voodoo has it. So Yoga Woman came out in 2012.
There actually were a number of very powerful, very strong women yoginis in Indian history. Nearly always they were outside of society because, of course, women weren't supposed to practice yoga in that culture. So in order to be a woman practitioner of yoga, you actually had to leave your family. You had to leave the civilization.
Well, how do I... Okay, yeah, I'm going to watch from start because I was watching this another day.
Yoga is an ancient tradition, crafted over thousands of years. Today, yoga has changed. Now lean to the left side. Beautiful. Turn the palms to face the ceiling. On your collarbones.
Now a generation of dynamic women have claimed this ancient practice and have started a revolution that is radically transforming lives.
Inhale, up or dog or cobra. When women come together and you let go of the judgment and you just be together as women and breathe together as women, truths come out, ritual happens, connection. That's yoga.
It's a formless, beautiful game. This is how it works. It's a truthful game.
In neighborhoods across the globe, yoga classes are packed with women.
Take the light through the body.
Desperate to keep up with the increasing pressures of the modern world, women are looking to find peace and balance within their own lives.
Body on the dress.
When I first started, all my teachers were male. So to see so many female teachers now is really wonderful, for women especially, because a woman knows how a woman feels.
Light through the body on the dress.
What yoga has done for me is to slow down the aging process. Maybe it's one of the secrets of yoga. It is really the fountain of youth.
Take the light.
Women have turned yoga into an international phenomenon, which has become a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Take the light.
I'm Annette Bening. Join us as we travel the globe,
Take the light through the body on the dress.
meeting the women of yoga.
Take the light. Love. Take the light through the body. Take the light.
Sean Korn is one of America's most inspirational and revolutionary yoga teachers.
Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and fold. Again, inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold.
She motivates people through yoga to find their purpose in life.
When one first comes into a yoga class, if you want to get stronger, more flexible, if you want to lose weight, it's there for you. If you want to release tension and feel and allow for your vulnerability to be somewhat more exposed, it's there for you. Lift your left leg up off the floor. I liked it first just because of the way it made my body feel. Hips are aligned so there's no pressure in the sacroiliac joint. Breath is deep. I think one of the real big transformational moments happened. I was in a kind of a crossroad in my own life. I think I was 23. And I stopped short suddenly in the middle of the sidewalk, and I had this feeling in my body and I couldn't identify it. I thought, what is this feeling? What am I feeling right now? And it just occurred to me that I was happy. Like I was really happy, and I didn't know why. The story wasn't good, but something in my heart just shifted, and I thought, could it have been the yoga? Keep breathing. 2 arms are even straighter, and downward facing dog. I didn't get into yoga thinking that I would ever be successful at this. I got into yoga, I remember my words to my parents said, I will never make any money at this, but I will live every single day of my life happy. And I meant it then, and I mean that now.
Tari Prinster found her way to yoga later in life. Little did she know that it would hold the key to her survival.
One day when I was driving down the street in my car and I looked at the reflection of myself in the window and saw that I was getting this hump just like my mother and my grandmother, and I said, whoa, I gotta do something here. And the jogging and the gym and was not doing it. So I started yoga. For all of what I say, the wrong reasons. Pure and simple. Vanity.
5 years later, Tari received devastating news. She had breast cancer.
The diagnosis is like falling off of a swing in the playground and losing your breath. You get the wind knocked out of you. I was scared. I was as scared of dying as I was of what I was going to look like the rest of my life. as a result of my having gone through several surgeries, chemotherapy and radiation and the whole 9 yards, I did yoga all the time, every day. And began to think about why it was that I was feeling so good in spite of the chemotherapy.
So can you do standing asana? Okay, so you're fine. I think virasana is probably not good for you. Okay.
Patricia Walden's lifelong commitment to yoga has made her one of the most respected teachers in the world.
And then from here, you're going to come into the first stage of Ekapada Rajakapotasana, and then raise your arms. When I started teaching around 1974 here in Cambridge, all the teachers, and there weren't very many of them, but the teachers that were all men. So I felt when I started really insecure and wondering if anybody would actually listen to me. But I think because my passion for yoga was so strong that people felt that, and that's what kept them with me. Exhale, arch. And I realized that there was definitely a need for the female voice. Lift the sternum, roll the shoulders back, and look up.
At East, your backyard?
I moved to San Francisco, and when I arrived, it was kind of the end of the hippie era, and I went there to find enlightenment. When I look back at who I was at that time, I wanted to seek enlightenment because I thought I would be free from suffering. And because enlightenment wasn't readily available, I started trying other things. So when I say I had one foot in the dark and one foot in the light, the dark was my journey with drugs. I had tremendous suffering as a child and in my early 20s, and I was fortunate enough to find yoga and fortunate enough to have the will to practice, and it changed me in many, many ways. Okay, now take your arms over your head and then arch back as much as you can comfortably. When I was a teenager and even in my early 20s, I had a very small voice. I didn't have a sense of me. Okay, now pressurize your thumb and index finger, slide the heels up the wall.
As a specialist in yoga for women, Patricia's groundbreaking contributions have influenced the way yoga is taught all over the world.
There's something about the practice of asana that gives you the courage to be out there in the world as you are.
Today, there are over 20 million people doing yoga in the United States alone. 85% of them are women. Yoga is taught in gyms, schools, hospitals, prisons, church halls, and homes across the globe.
I think what's beginning to happen is yoga is being demystified. It's becoming very mainstream, very approachable, less intimidating, as everybody starts to do. My father, who's 84, just started to practice yoga.
Strength, no strength, anybody can do yoga. Sometimes when we see those pictures of people with their, it's all wrapped around, and that seems completely scary, and that's to do it. But you just start with who you are and where you are, and it's just movement, it's breathing, and everybody can do it.
So from the busy of city of Apple this and I this, we pause for a moment. We set our palms on the earth and drop our forehead down to offer this breath.
When you come into actual yoga classes, you'll see that there are all different types and shapes and sizes and ages in there. And where they're doing is learning how to be fully themselves. That's it.
I love having in a room the young, the old, the poor, the rich, the black, the white, the Latino, and we're all women. They're sitting there discussing the things that mean the most to us and the things that are confronting us and all of that, and in the practice.
Exhale, hands down, step back, right leg up to the sky, down to go.
If we look around today, it looks like yoga is a modern pastime mostly for women, but that really is not the case. Evidence of yoga practice goes back thousands of years in what's now India, and if we look at the Vedas, sacred texts around 1500, we see that women were able to teach and be priestesses and sages. But then, as Brahmanism comes in, about 1000 BCE, the status of women declines precipitously, and the world becomes a male-dominated worldview where knowledge is transmitted from father to son. And although women goddesses are worshipped, Lakshmi, Durga, Saraswati, human women are basically not present. They're excluded from ceremony and practices.
We're included in a list of things like filthy water, rotten food, that men would want to avoid.
There actually were a number of very powerful, very strong women yoginis in Indian history. Nearly always they were outside of society because, of course, women weren't supposed to practice yoga in that culture. So in order to be a woman practitioner of yoga, you actually had to leave your family, you had to leave the civilization. And what we find among these great women yoga practitioners is that they were wild women.
Yoga was brought to the West from India by a lineage of male teachers. Very few women studied yoga.
In my opinion, Indra Devi was the most important woman. She became the doyen of yoga in an era when women were not accepted as students, let alone teachers. And in the 1930s had the great fortune to observe Krishnamacharya teaching yoga to his Indian male pupils in the Mysore Palace. And although Krishnamacharya really did not want her to be his student, she doggedly pursued him and finally convinced him to take her on. And he encouraged her to go on and teach. She then took yoga to 5 different continents over a 70-year teaching career.
Under the influence of luminaries like Indra Devi and other pioneers around the world, a new yoga enhancing women's lives began to take shape.
Exhale, round the back, and then come up to your sitting position.
Over the following decades, more and more women were drawn to the practice, and by the 1970s, yoga was being broadcast into living rooms across America.
What's happening is
I started to teach very early. If you think in the mid-60s, there were no teachers. So I would go to New York City to experience the male teachers that were coming from India. And I didn't have to go to India then. India was coming to New York City.
As yoga permeated into the mainstream, women began to step forward as teachers, taking leadership roles in the yoga movement.
Yoga was definitely a male path, and the only role models were male teachers. So I had the idea of the ultimate being a naked yogi sitting in a cave. And something happened inside me, and I realized that I'd been practicing yoga with a masculine attitude, as if I was a man trying to achieve something at the end of a long journey. This was fundamental to my shift in yoga, to start embracing the feminine side in myself, in my practice.
Women actually redesigned the whole concept of what it meant, not only to take a yoga class, but to incorporate yoga into our lives.
Breathe out. 4.
I think women teachers bring a certain nurturing effect to yoga that make it an organic process. they make it so whatever you need, the practices can fit into, instead of you trying to fit into the practices. The heart is brought into it, the intuition is brought into it.
And without the pioneers of kind of yoga in the West, women really wouldn't have a pathway to support what happens to us naturally through yoga.
Part of the revolution that we are experiencing today is that women yoga practitioners are taking the principles and practices of yoga and taking them into the home, taking them into the workplace, making yoga so much a part of normal daily life. And I actually really believe that it is the women practitioners, above all, who are making yoga mainstream today.
Hello there, my name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is that punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is every single time you take a bite, you know you're gonna get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. The Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches. There's no touching it.
Ray Mariotti here. If you need parts, eBay Motors ensures a guaranteed fit. Hey, Dave.
Yep. Wait.
How are those new wipers?
Small. They're small.
Just go to eBay Motors where the check meets a guaranteed
technician. As a farm tech, you'll have an important role preparing prescriptions and dispensing medications while working alongside pharmacists. With a Fortis education, all while helping serve your community. Get started now. Call 1-800-700-9111 or visit fortis.edu.
At California Closets, every project is personalized, custom designed, and installed by true craftsmen. That's the California Closets difference. We call it practical magic. Get started with a free design consultation. In our fast-paced world, modern women are overstimulated, overscheduled, and overwhelmed with images to live up to. They are under constant pressure to be successful, to be perfect, to be everything for everybody.
1 in 5 women will be depressed over their lifetime. Half of women in the US are on a diet. 25 million with compulsive overeating. Why is this so? Why have we bought into this madness? We're in a crisis.
Self-image issues have reached epidemic proportions, with 90% of American women dissatisfied with their appearance.
In daily life, we are being pulled out of ourselves all the time. You see an advertisement that tells you you're not good enough, you're not beautiful enough, or you should have a better something or other. Better breasts, better buttocks, slimmer, fatter, whatever. Very little in life invites you to notice how you're really feeling, notice who you really are in this moment.
Italian women are often very concerned how they dress, how they look, how they appear outside. I try to teach, to show that it's not important how you look from outside, but how you are inside. And unfortunately, our society now is going more and more how you look outside.
The pressure of being a superwoman does not pay off in the end. It may look like that,
Outwardly, you know, the appearance may be, the image may be of the strong career woman who has it under control. But deep down inside, there's a storm. There's a sense of inadequacy. And that's the cause of feeling this immense pressure and stress.
One of the epidemics that I think we have is anorexia and bulimia, and perhaps even more prevalent than that is disordered eating, having this altered relationship with food where you're not eating it for nourishment, you're eating it to soothe, or you're eating it because you're stressed out. And I think that affects, from my experience in my practice, probably 80% of women.
What is endemic in our culture is the fact that we don't relax, we don't take it easy. You know, if I stopped over to your house for a cup of tea unannounced, you'd freak out. Everybody would freak out because that's a generation ago we used to be able to do that. You can't do that now. We have to schedule everything into the minute.
I want that dress. And then I'll get that guy. And then I can eat whatever I want. And then I'll be happy. And all of that. And yoga actually helps us to cut through our drama.
Exhale. The last 3, really slow. With all that fast movement.
As a result of practicing yoga, both the physical aspects, the meditation, the breathing exercises, we're creating change on numerous levels. So not only are you getting fitter physically, but also you're going to work on a psychological level, you're going to be working on an emotional level, you're going to be working on a molecular level, and also working with the energy system.
Raise your legs, inhale, open, sit rooted in that back leg. Exhale, fold.
Some of the really great tangible benefits for women are stress release. It really will help you to just let go of some of the, overstimulated energy that we're living with. It will help focus the mind, and that will help you be organized with all the stuff you have to do. It actually creates mental clarity.
Below your feet.
For the last 4 decades, Patricia has been making the annual pilgrimage to India to study with one of the world's leading yoga teachers.
I met Mr. Iyengar before I came to India, so a part of me knew what I was getting myself in for. I knew that he was fierce. I knew that he would, really be hard on us.
I knew it, and I knew no things at all.
There's a big platform at the front of the room, and he stood up on the platform in little shorts and looking very stern and started giving us individual instructions. Lift your chest, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And we were used to very quiet yoga teachers, so he was really, we were a little bit scared, but excited at the same time. But I knew when he walked off that platform and looked around at people and made eye contact, I knew what I was going to be doing for the rest of my life. So we're doing this to bring the back ribs in, and as we did in sitting in swastikasana, one of the things that brought me to yoga was my depression. A lot of women come to yoga and they don't feel powerful. A lot of women come to yoga who are feeling melancholy or feeling depressed, or they feel like a victim in their life. And magically, sometimes, or because they've committed to practice, over time you really begin to develop a strong sense of self through asana. Keep the tops of the thighs moving down. Hold on to the elbows and bring the arms toward the floor. There's a feedback system where physiology affects thinking, affects feeling, feeling affects thinking, affects physiology. So the message there is,
What you do with your body, how you stand, how you sit, how you carry yourself is going to have a profound effect on your mental body. Iyengar's daughter, Gita, took her father's teachings and adapted them for the cycles of a woman's life. In 1983, her book, Yoga, A Gem for Women, was published, creating a new paradigm for women's yoga throughout the world.
Gita is a fierce teacher. She is a passionate person. She's devoted to helping women on the path understand how to work with the different cycles in their life.
In order to understand and evaluate the health benefits of this practice, leading research scientists are conducting in-depth studies into all aspects of yoga.
The institution is an institution which is dedicated to making both yoga and Ayurveda available to people all over India and indeed all over the world.
Prominent yoga research scientist Dr. Shirley Tellis investigates the physiological effects of yoga, its influence on skills, and its role in treatment and therapy. Her published work is being incorporated into mainstream medicine in the West.
Yoga produces its effects by its actions on the mind. A series of brain waves, so where we may actually see certain physical benefits like flexibility, improved lung functions, those are very obviously on the physical system. But when we're talking of the more subtle benefits like, reduced anxiety, reduced hypersensitivity of the bronchi even in bronchial asthma, all that would be by its effect on the mind, or more strictly scientifically speaking, on the nervous system.
Imagine your life as a pharmacy technician. As a farm tech, you'll have an important role preparing prescriptions and dispensing medications while working alongside pharmacists. With a Fortis education, you could work in hospitals, drugstores, clinics, and more, all while helping serve your community. Get started now. Call 1-800-700-9111 or visit fortis.edu.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means I cherish my memories, but I don't just look back on them. I look forward to the chance to make new ones every day with Verzenio.
Verzenio is proven to help you live significantly longer when taken with fulvestrant. Verzenio plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
I'm making future memories every day with Verzenio.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
Our master closet is pretty spectacular.
People come in, they comment on it, so I guess that's a good thing, that they really like it. When you open up the door and the light pops up, it's like, whoa.
We're Tammy and Bill, and this is our life, the California Closets.
Wally Clark, nice to meet you.
Maddie, for an unsolved mystery.
There's a little more to the story.
Have somebody's pot again?
We still don't know what happened.
Can't still yell everything about him, but...
School of Spirits, new episodes Thursdays, exclusively on Paramount Plus.
In Tennessee, Dr. Kathy Stallworth specializes in physical medicine and rehabilitation.
The practice of pranayama is stimulating the vagus nerve.
She is prescribing both yoga and other elements of the yogic teachings, like diet, to effect change in her patients.
We are seeing more and more that our diets are critical to our health, absolutely critical. And currently in the United States, our diet is very poor. We eat a lot of meat, wheat, dairy,
and saturated fats. Eating a vegetarian diet is a choice that many yoga practitioners make. Certain foods make you feel a particular way. They increase your mental alertness or your awareness or your ability to sleep better at night, or even your feeling of being comfortable with your own body.
The yogic teachings about diet are so beautiful, and they're so in keeping with what our modern science is telling us, that we need to be eating more whole foods, whole grains, fresh fruits and vegetables, and we're seeing physical changes in the body as a result of that. Again, modern science meeting ancient wisdom.
After Tari's breast cancer surgery, understanding the healing qualities of yoga has become a vital feature of her practice.
The kinds of surgeries that is done to remove the breast and to explore through the lymph system whether or not their cancer has metastasized involves removing and readjusting several parts of the body. It also leaves a lingering effect on the lymphatic system, which becomes compromised when lymph nodes are removed.
If you talk of disorders of the female reproductive system, breast cancer has been studied the most, and there have been a number of studies showing that there are psychological benefits in the immune system, which means that the person may be actually fighting the cancer better and tolerating the side effects of chemotherapy and radiation.
Everything that we do in yoga enhances the lymphatic flow and therefore enhances the immune system. So that's one extremely condition-specific way that yoga can be healing.
I'm sorry. So glad you could come to class today.
Tari's now developed a yoga program to support the physical and emotional challenges that cancer survivors face.
Kara's coming in.
We're going to do it again. Place your hands on your butt. Tighten into that block. And begin to. What's so wonderful about what we do is we talk about cancer in the classes. It's almost like a beautiful song to them to hear the word cancer used in a class, rather than to avoid it as something, that if you say it, you might get it. Reaching through the back heel, letting the heart come forward and the tailbone sinking down. Oftentimes they have made the huge mistake of going to any yoga class in the gym or at the local studio, and they don't know from one type of yoga to another and have had an unpleasant experience. As you twist your head up. But when they come into a class and they see other people without their wigs on, and I tell them I am a survivor, there is an immediate feeling of community and safety. We're going to try and draw the lymph into the central lymph node, which is right here in the middle of our bodies.
Another specialized area that is increasing in popularity is adapting yoga classes to support larger women.
There are plenty of large women out there who have given up on finding any kind of physical activity or exercise that they feel comfortable with and that they can do. As a large woman, you feel marginalized. There's all kinds of things I can't do in yoga because my butt gets in the way or my belly gets in the way or, I can't bend that way. And that's okay. I'm not afraid to try, and that's what really matters. It's changed my life. Yoga has changed my life, absolutely.
Part of the yogic practice that clears and purifies both the heart and mind is offering service to humanity. Sean is using her yoga and her life experience to give back.
I never guessed that service would be the place where I am today and such an intrinsic part of my yoga.
Her humanitarian work is focused on supporting women in developing countries.
It's not a matter of waiting for that part of the world to come towards me. It's about me taking action and initiative and going towards the places where I'm needed. Wednesday, we're gonna head out to the bush.
Sean's enthusiasm for social change inspired her to co-found Off the Mat into the World, an organization that rallies the yoga community into action.
There's 20 million people in the yoga community doing yoga, and most of them are women. And it's an altruistic community, it's an educated community, it's a community of heart. And I've always wondered what would happen if we start to mobilize, unify, using our energy, our time, our money, our prayers to create change, both on a local level and on a global level. I've always believed that it could be a revolution.
For their latest project, Off the Mat has mobilized a group of 21 women. Their aim is to fund and improve the quality of life for women and children in Uganda.
The amount of energy and effort that goes into creating a project like this, and you never know if it's really going to happen. $566,000 later, 21 participants, countless emails and phone calls and vetting different organizations and trying to get everything aligned just properly is an overwhelming task at times. And knowing now that I'm packing, we're going, that this is something that is not potentially going to happen, but it is happening, is thrilling on so many levels. I mean, really is a dream come true.
I think that women senior teachers that I have been with in the States and watched their evolution, one of the most impressive things is just what incredible role models they are. In the last 5 years, really, I've seen this huge push to really adapt the idea of the practice to life in the world and to really make a difference.
Yoga Journal has chronicled the evolution of yoga in America over the past 3 decades. It's now published in 9 countries with a readership of millions.
One of the ideas that we're trying to communicate in this special issue is that you don't have to have a more advanced physical practice.
Yoga Journal celebrates the changing face of yoga, highlighting many innovative projects around the world.
To me, I think it's actually a pretty clever. Like, it just looks like a cover to me.
I think there are just so many beautiful projects and so many teachers who are using their lives as examples to all of us. They might have access to ways of doing things that not everyone can do, but the fact that they're using their time and money and, relative celebrity to do something for the rest of the world, I think is making a really big difference in what the next generation of people practicing yoga sees as a way to live.
Imagine your life as a medical technologist. Medical technology drives our lives and our economy, improving health, saving lives, increasing longevity. With a Fortis medical education, you can enter the healthcare field, contribute to your community, and make a difference in people's lives. To start your medtech career, call Fortis now at 1-800-700-9111 or visit fortis.edu.
Ray Magliozzi here. When you need parts, eBay Motors ensures a guaranteed fit. Hey, Dave.
Yep. Wait.
How are those new wipers?
Small. They're small.
Just go to eBay Motors where the check means a guaranteed fit. That's right.
Tomorrow is more than just a fresh start. Tomorrow is a long time coming. It's continuing the work we started over 20 years ago by growing our investments in solar and wind. Bridging to a sustainable energy future.
blemish with an emergency spot patch from Curology, now at Target.
Group 4 is Davian, Gala, Megan.
As part of their yoga practice, the Off the Mat team have signed up for a year-long program, empowering them to make real change in the world.
Yoga has provided me the tools to take what I've learned on the mat, which is strength and focus and flexibility and compassion and patience, and to apply it in the world where it really counts.
After many months of fundraising and planning, they finally meet the Ugandan women.
It's a joy to meet all of you and your families. Especially for the time and the effort of making that beautiful sign. We hope that this is a long sisterhood that lasts many, many years.
We are all HIV positive. Some women are widows, others are married, but they are HIV positive. They are very happy, and they pray that it doesn't stop here, it continues for more years. Yeah.
This was a really special day. We waited a really long time for this.
The team's money is put to use immediately, building a new birthing center. All too commonly, giving birth here can be a life-threatening experience.
It's a little overwhelming. To have a concept and then to watch people gather around an unknown, they had no idea, and then to actually see it in life and in real time. It's amazing what I keep thinking about is how many women are going to be able to have safe births and are going to be able to live healthier lives as a result.
Off the Mat and Into the World has given me family and community and has helped me to bring out the very best of me, even when it's been scary and especially when it's been hard. They've supported me and nurtured me, and now it's my turn to go out and support and nurture other people. What we're doing here, this is the yoga. This is definitely the yoga.
When women are out of harmony with
our menstrual cycle. It's the same reflection of when we're out of harmony with the natural cycles. And yoga is really all about resyncing us with these deep rhythms. It's really easy for women to get caught up in a calendar that's more like a day planner kind of calendar and forget that there is a deep cycle that we are eternally connected to.
I think it's very powerful to address the menstrual cycle in the yoga class and in your yoga practice because that already gets you in tune with your cyclic process. Young women have a different practice than women in menopause. That you're changing that, you know, at the end of your menstrual cycle, how you feel different at the beginning and how your practice has to be adjusted for that.
If it's my menstrual cycle time, what I refer to as my moon time, then I tend to be very quiet and I give myself a lot of permission to just move slow and to be deeply, deeply at ease inside myself.
And remember, when you do the menstrual sequence, this is the time to get better at a pose, right? So this action pushes down on the uterus, which pushes down on the pelvic floor, and that's an unhealthy action.
I remember 12 years ago, I was teaching at a yoga journal conference, and somebody asked about a sequence for menstruation, and I started talking about it. And one woman in class said, "You say menstruation in your class? You talk about it? You would say it out loud?" She said, "I could never do that." You know, these days it's so different. In my classes, you know, we brought all those things into the light. And then raise your arms up.
Women teachers are constantly reshaping yoga to support the different phases of a woman's life. Dr. Sarah Gottfried is a Harvard-trained gynecologist. As a leading expert in women's health, she synthesizes the best of Western medicine with natural therapies.
I have a very busy medical practice, and if there's a way in which, if I could get my patients to do yoga regularly, I wouldn't need to practice as much as I do. They wouldn't need me as much. I just think that it gets you into a place of hormonal balance, emotional fulfillment. It prevents depression, it prevents anxiety, it helps you sleep better.
How much are you taking? Do you know what your dose is?
It's
100 milligrams. I'm taking
twice a day. We have constant hormonal flux that we're dealing with. So when you're still cycling, every day of your menstrual cycle, you have a different level of estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone.
There's 37
And so we're
minutes
constantly
left.
accommodating these changes in hormone levels. And yoga really helps with that. It helps us with accommodating hormonal flux.
Many doctors are now prescribing yoga to benefit women throughout their life cycles.
Ray Mariotzi here. If you need parts, eBay Motors ensures a guaranteed fit. Hey, Dave.
Yep. Wait.
How are those new wipers?
Small. They're small.
Just go to eBay Motors where the check needs a guaranteed fit. That's right.
Imagine your life as an HVAC technician, installing and repairing heating, refrigeration, and AC systems. Almost all buildings have them, and that means opportunity and stable work for those with solid HVAC skills. A Fortis education can make it happen for you and your family. Start your career in the skilled trades today by calling Fortis at 1-800-700-9111 or visit fortis.edu.
At Charmin, we make paper, and we love trees. That's why we protect forests by using pulp certified by the Forest Stewardship Council. It's why we regrow at least 2 trees for every tree we use. And it's why, when forests are devastated by natural disasters, Charmin helps restore trees through the Arbor Day Foundation. So you can enjoy the go, but forests remain forests. Charmin.
At California Closets, every project is personalized, custom designed, and installed by true craftsmen. That's the California Closets difference. We call it practical magic. Get started with a free design consultation.
Something bit you. What are you worried about? We've never held anything before.
You've never had a back before.
America's largest medical facility, the Kaiser Hospital, is piloting yoga programs that are being integrated into their regular prenatal care.
We discovered that it's actually very, very safe to exercise with very few conditions that don't allow it. And when women go into labor, it's like they're going to do a marathon. For those of us who have done natural childbirth, I can tell you, you really want to be in the best physical shape you can possibly be. And I think we're emphasizing this. And yoga is a really gentle but strenuous enough practice that I think it's just perfect for pregnant women.
The majority of women want to start yoga when they're pregnant, and I think it's a great time to begin. They seem to respond. There's a lot more relaxin hormones in their body, so they have a suppleness already in their joints and in their hips and their lower back, and if they maintain their practice, then that suppleness can stay with them throughout their pregnancy and even after. So it's just a lovely introduction.
Published studies now prove that pregnant women practicing yoga spend less time in labor, reduce the chances of cesarean section, and often give birth to healthier babies.
I'm 21 weeks. It's good. I'm past the, morning sickness stage and I'm enjoying it. The first trimester wasn't easy. I wasn't vomiting or anything, but I was squeezy 24 hours a day. I was gagging a lot and I just had no energy for myself, but tried to keep exercising. Actually helped me not feel nauseous.
Women are constantly being pulled in many directions. Caring for family and meeting work commitments makes it difficult to create time for oneself.
One of the difficult times for women, challenging, wonderful, and difficult all together, is the pregnancy, delivery, young children, young family, and how that affects not only their body, but their emotions and their relationships with the father, the husband. Everything changes. So it's wonderful to have this yoga practice as a touchstone, as a consistency. It can be a few simple movements that remind me that I'm me and I have a life separate from my family.
Bring Henry around. And then I'm gonna park Henry by the end of the track.
I have found that while Jonah's sleeping, if I manage to get just the tiniest bit of yoga in, I'm much steadier. I'm much less reactive with him. When he starts to refuse to share something or refuse to use the potty, whatever it is, there is this reactivity that comes up and I see it.
I feel it. I hear my parents. It's like patterns that are generations old. If I manage to get in a few minutes of yoga and just a few breaths, you can start to clear this habitual tendency out of my body. And if I really put my attention on it, I can actually feel this pattern starting to shift.
日本人女性特有の文化的な問題っていうのは、過去にですね、日本人女性っていうのはやっぱり男性に一歩下がってっていう文化だと思うんですけれども、それでだんだん社会に進出したり、自分自身もキャリアを持ちながら、でも子供も欲しいし、家庭と仕事と自分のこととって全部をバランスを取るっていうのが非常に難しいと思います。
My favorite place to do my asana practice, even though we have a few rooms I could use, is right in their bedroom while they sleep. And I can just hear them breathe, their breathing, and hear them in their sleep and the sweet sounds that they make, and it just helps me sink into my own practice. I have 3 small children. I have a 10-month-old, a almost 5-year-old, a 7.5-year-old. I started this nonprofit organization. Many people look at me all the time and they say, how do you do that? Your home is so calm and you have such a sweet connection with your children and your business. You're doing this wonderful thing in the world and you seem so relaxed and you have so much energy. And how does that happen? And I look at them and I say, well, you know, who knew? This yoga stuff actually works.
Yoga for kids is fun. With social pressures and expectations on girls
There is 30 minutes left.
continuing to rise, educators are now recognizing the wider benefits of yoga for all ages.
Came out in 2012.
I never judge the kids. I never get angry if they can't do a pose or if their feet don't come off the floor and crow or whatever. And I let them accept the process. And I just push them every time to just go a little bit towards the edge. And I always remind them, the thing I always say is yoga doesn't care how many times you fall, it cares how many times you get back up. As long as you get back up, you're doing it perfectly. Take your time. You ready? Let it drop. Keep your arms straight. There you go. Come back.
Knowing that I can do stuff kind of helps me breathe. I'm not quite sure why. And it's also helped me meditate because I can breathe better.
Teenage girls go from this place of relative quiet with hormones to this place where their hormones are just erratic each day. It leads to a lot of moodiness. It leads to this preoccupation sometimes with self-image and how do I compare to other girls? Am I thin enough?
The media has really damaged the teenage psyche. The movies, the magazines, the emphasis on being thin, having a certain texture to your hair, having a certain color eyes, having a certain wardrobe, has become the only thing that's important in some ways. If they were to get this tool, this yoga tool, so they could feel good regardless, if they could get to know themselves in that way and have that kind of confidence, it would be mind-blowing.
So as girls get more interested in sex and what they look like as driven by their hormones, I think yoga helps them with connecting back to their true nature and less on the external influences that are happening in the teenage years.
Imagine your life as a medical technologist. Medical technology drives our lives and our economy, improving health, saving lives, increasing longevity. With a Fortis medical education, you can enter the healthcare field, contribute to your community, and make a difference in people's lives. To start your medtech career, call Fortis now at 1-800-700-9111 or visit fortis.edu.
Ray Mariotti here. If you need parts, eBay Motors ensures a guaranteed fit. Hey, Dave.
Yep. Wait.
How are those new wipers?
Small. They're small.
Just go to eBay Motors where the check needs a guaranteed fit. That's right.
Hey, my name's Paige, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the crispiness of the breading and the tenderness of the filet. It's tasty, it's warm, it's total satisfaction.
Hi, this is Tanya, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is that warm bun, the perfectly seasoned chicken, and that pickle. Woo! I love it. There's a taste of my childhood in every bite.
We were the first to make a plant-based creamer. And we're the only one to nail it.
Tomorrow is happening right now, because at Enbridge, we're modernizing our operations to ensure the world has safe, secure, and sustainable energy today and tomorrow.
I started doing yoga in June of 2008, and I was incarcerated at the time, so that's where I learned it. I had already heard about yoga, but I never had tried it or anything until I was incarcerated.
The Art of Yoga project works with teenage girls in California's juvenile justice system. They've integrated yoga into prison programs to build awareness, respect, and self-control for at-risk teens.
And everybody's like, oh my gosh, why do you like it so much? Ew. But I didn't care because I loved it. I love the poses. I love how it made me feel after. I love that I was learning about my body and trying to doing things that I never thought I could do. So it was great.
I'm gonna say, protect. Create. Celebrate. Act. Light. Unite.
There was a situation at a point that I wanted to hit somebody, and I just went into my room.
26 minutes left.
I grabbed, we make scarves.
Yoga
We learned how to
Woman
knit,
is
so I
a
have scarf. I wrapped
documentary.
it over my head, just covered my eyes. I lay down, I just started breathing, and slowly I was good. I just forgot about it, I let it go. I've been doing pretty good with that. I learned how to control myself.
You say your name and one thing you like about yourself. And I know that's hard, and something you can also say, people tell me that maybe that might make it easier.
These girls are here from anywhere from 4 to 6 months, and they're in for anything from just a simple aggravated assault, even from running away from home, to a gang-related homicide.
Good job, Ruby.
Many of the girls are addicted. They have anxiety, depression, eating disorders.
They haven't been very affirmed as girls and women. I mean, many of them have been prostituted. 90% of girls nationally in the juvenile system have been sexually abused.
And so they come in with a really low sense of who they are, and we're trying to teach them to feel safe in their bodies again. And part of why in our class we say, if you do not want to be touched, raise your hand, like giving them that power. And we've had girls say that was the most powerful thing for them.
I saw such a change in the moods of the girls from the time they walked into this gym and then left and came to the classroom. It was phenomenal. So I think the general consensus is they feel that it's really a calming, it just calms the girls down, but also I have found that when they're really stressing, a girl will scream out, do an om.
Once you're locked up, you realize so much about yourself, and you learn. Well, you see things differently because they just took my freedom. I'm here because I did this to myself, and I didn't blame nobody but me because nobody got me here. I got here myself. So, just knowing, accepting the fact that you're there, take it one day at a time.
Shake fingers, smile, inhale, exhale, in.
The Africa Yoga Project has taken yoga to Kenya's largest slums. Born into this life, 19-year-old Mary Wanjori had very limited choices. Now as a yoga teacher, she's a well-respected and valuable part of her community.
I've gained more in yoga. I'm strong in yoga. I'm strong in my mind, my body, everywhere I'm strong. And now I can talk to anybody and even use the eye contact. I couldn't look at someone's eyes like this. I was like drawing down the maps. That we say it's drawing maps because they're shy. But now I am confident. Change to the reach mbele.
Here in Nairobi, we have 42 teachers. They teach at the gamut of places, from homeless shelters to clinics for HIV positive women, to primary schools, to pieces of grass that look like good places for yoga. Yoga is the perfect tool for development of communities because poverty is a cycle that's twofold. You're poor, so then your health goes. So we pay the teachers to be able to offer yoga, teaching people about self-confidence and also intertribal communication.
There's 21 minutes left.
I'm so famous in India. You find people are calling, no, come, teacher. I'm even proud of people calling me teacher. It's like, wow. I couldn't believe that someone can call me a teacher.
Women's sexuality and reproductive systems are easily affected by the stress and anxiety of daily life.
Low libido is probably the #1 symptom that I see among my patients. For many women, it's related to having an overbusy life. So some of my patients are juggling 2 kids and a partner that travels, and they're working full or part-time. You know, I had a patient that I saw this morning who just said, I haven't had sex in a year. My husband and I have very stressful jobs. We're too exhausted at night to make love. And, you know, I think that's sort of 21st century stress. For women, I think yoga is the best at stress reduction. So that's what women feel right away. It raises your level of GABA, and GABA is like nature's Valium. So a lot of women find that when they have a regular yoga practice, they have more energy. They go from being exhausted and depleted most of the time to having more energy for things like love and sex.
Imagine your life as a medical assistant. With a Fortis medical education, you can work with doctors and patients, helping people in your community. With a career you can love. Medical assisting continues to be among the fastest growing occupations nationally. Start your medical career by calling Fortis now at 1-800-700-9111 or visit fortis.edu.
Ray Magliozzi here. If you need parts, eBay Motors ensures a guaranteed fit. Hey, Dave.
Yep. Wait.
How are those new wipers?
Small. They're small.
Just go to eBay Motors where the check meets a guaranteed fit. That's right.
Since we downsized, we needed a company like California Closets to come in and utilize what little space we had.
Our master closet is pretty spectacular.
People come in, they comment on it, so I guess that's a good thing, that they really like it. When you open up the door and the light pops up, it's like, whoa.
I think that's his favorite feature of all. We're Tammy and Phil, and this is our life, the California Closets.
Visit a showroom or schedule your free consultation today.
Just call my name and I'll be there. Just call my name and I'll be there.
If you can open the muscles more, you can strengthen them more. You go in sideways from your vagina and you can feel that muscle. If you put your finger inside of yourself and you try to lift up, the pelvic floor work will absolutely improve your sex life, no doubt about it. So, you know, in my workshops, I'm really, truly introducing a lot of women to their pelvises. And it's not really till something goes wrong that women start paying attention to it. So it's gonna go on mid-thigh, everybody. Everybody have a working belt? You know, there are statistics that say 54% of all women from the ages of 20 to 90 have some incontinence. Meaning you sneeze and there's a leak, or you know you have to wear diapers, or you know don't want to go to the house. What you're gonna do is squeeze the brick. You need to know it's there. You need to know what's there. You need to know how to move it. You need to know how to stretch it and strengthen it, and then for me, I feel like the energetics of it would become more obvious. Okay. Again, lean back slightly, lift the chest.
There are other things that go along that affect our sexuality. If we are not sleeping well, if we hurt all the time, if we can't move, it's hard to be really in touch with our sexuality. And yoga can almost immediately begin to improve those aspects.
Crown, one more round. What happens for yoga in women is that literally the places of holding in the body are opened. To open your hips, to bring movement into the pelvis region. Come back into plank. I've had countless women come to me and say that they really feel their relationships with their men on a sexual level has really opened up because they have opened up.
lot of movement from the baby. You're kind of aware that there's this other living being inside you. That's the most beautiful thing about it. It's constantly moving.
Some people come just for the psychological space to be more soft and connected to themselves in an unbusied and non-striving way. All of those are wonderful motivations to practice. And what can kind of surface out of the repetition of doing this simple activity is that our overall health becomes of a higher quality. And I literally think that the aging process can become one of gracious acceptance.
Yoga is so important for women going through menopause. You know, if you don't do anything for your body going through menopause, you can really start to feel melancholy or even depressed because you feel that your body is getting older. So by doing yoga, you build optimism and you see that there is a way of keeping that freedom in your joints that you had in your 40s, your 30s, and your 20s. This is the time where you really need to nurture yourself like you nurture so many other people in your life.
Right knee, towards the middle toe. Good, so your arches stay lifted. We're all aging day by day. And it will be a more pleasant experience in a body that's strong and flexible. Now, there are other ways to do that besides yoga, but what I love about yoga is that it includes a philosophical outlook, a practice, and it's completely adaptable to any type of person, any age, any condition.
And then down this way, all the way up, and then all the way down.
With the palms going out all the way. That's great. Hooray!
It's something in my life that I look forward to. There's so much that I've given up that you have to enjoy the few things you have left.
Turn your head into the stretch. Unturn it and then turn it. That's it.
For women who are older, one of the really important health issues is osteoporosis.
Think of your head as doing most of the moving, not your arms.
One of the things we know about yoga is that when practiced regularly, it raises your bone density by about 1% per year. And that's very significant.
Extend backwards, bend those knees exactly.
And then sort of more difficult to measure is the agility, the grace that yoga provides as you age, so that if you do fall on your hip, you fall well.
Go ahead and do any stroke you want to. You can do the back stroke.
It also helps with some of those issues of death, which are really frightening and not talked about enough in our culture. As you figure out, okay, is this the life I want to live? Maybe my days are limited.
An important benefit from yoga when facing a life-threatening illness is the ability to calm the mind and emotions. Tari offers yoga retreats to help women through these challenges.
I've never been stronger in my life. Even when I was 25 years old, I feel more in my body. Partly due to yoga, but partly due to the cancer. I don't think if I had continued to do yoga as, a vanity tool,
There's 12 minutes left.
I would have gotten to this
This
place.
documentary.
Lean into that right arm and stretch the left arm.
I'm glad
all
because
the way
my
out.
phone battery
Now,
is
when I
like
speak
low.
about that with my students, it's motivational to them because they are looking for hope. They're not looking to be soothed. They're looking for a way to feel normal and then feel stronger. There.
There are a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of anxious moments, and tears when you never really expect them to happen. I needed to learn how to listen to myself, listen to what was going on in my body, and just find some peace and some quiet.
Many people believe that the practice of yoga leads us to be able to have a graceful death. Because yoga teaches us and shows us by our practice that we are so much more than the body. And it becomes less fearful, more easy to let go when the time comes, not to hold on with that fear. And even a certain joy that comes with knowing it's time to move on. This is the basis of the teachings of yoga. This is the essence of it.
At the end of the day, the true journey of this practice is to experience the power of inner peace. This is the heart of yoga.
Imagine your life as a pharmacy technician. As a pharm tech, you'll have an important role preparing prescriptions and dispensing medications while working alongside pharmacists. With a Fortis education, you could work in hospitals, drugstores, clinics, and more, all while helping serve your community. Get started now. Call 1-800-700-9111 or visit fortis.edu.
Contestant 777, what is your talent?
I win.
What do you mean, win?
I win. It's very easy. It's just by practicing.
Do you have to practice?
Nope.
Do you have to work out?
No.
Did you have a sorcerer teach you a mystical lost art?
No.
That's spin win.
That's spin and win? I won!
Me too.
At California Closets, every project is a personalized experience. Custom designed, built, and installed by true craftsmen. We create exactly what you want, so your home office finally works for you. And the family room brings everyone together, even with the TV off. That's the California Closets difference. We call it practical magic. Start your experience with a free design consultation.
Acne spot? Banish the blemish with an emergency spot patch from Curology, now at Target.
The mind is like an ocean. If there is turbulence in the ocean, you can't see, you can't get clarity. If you calm the surface of the water and lower and lower and lower, you can see all the way down to the bottom, to the treasures at the bottom of the ocean.
Whatever you believe in, that doesn't matter. The main focus there is to understand what the mind is all about and how we can work to bring about quietness in the mind.
The project is to make a magical shift of your perception of yourself. And magic means that. Magic is a shift in perception. So you shift your identity towards happiness, towards joy, towards wholeness, and you just let go or perhaps loosen your hold on your identity with your faults, with your sadnesses, with your disappointments. And when you start to do that,
there's a feeling of great freedom and possibilities start to open up.
ヨガの時間っていうのは心身ともに浄化をしていく中で自分自身の時間を持てるので、その自分が自分自身と調和を取れているっていうその中心的な部分を整えてくれるものだと思いますね。
There's a huge difference when you can be with yourself at ease, when you can feel your body the way it is.
I would say it will save your life. It will change your life. It will make you so much more accepting of yourself than you've ever been.
There is 7 minutes left, 7 or 8 minutes left in this documentary.
Yoga is not so much changing us, it's just a cleaning process. It's a process of polishing off our diamond so that we can allow ourself, our true self, to just shine beautifully, brilliantly, just as we are, so that we can really just embody that true self and shine as the diamonds that we're all meant to be.
I think more and more the female yoga teachers are asking the question, how can this practice bring wholeness, bring well-being? It is a very important question right now in terms of the larger questions we face with climate change, with potentially disastrous consequences, unless we start waking up to finding a way to live in harmony and balance with nature. I think to live in harmony and balance with nature, you have to find harmony and balance within your own nature.
It's going to be like a community center attached to the birthing center where the women and the community really can gather.
I'm so proud and excited that I get to be a part of the yoga community in the way that I do at this time, because I'm watching ordinary people do extraordinary things, all in the name of love.
Programs like Off the Mat are inspiring other yoga communities around the world to give their time and resources to people in need. After 9 months of prenatal yoga, Aya has a baby boy.
My yoga practice has been really useful during my pregnancy. They said a calm pregnancy gives you a calm baby.
Nothing in life lasts forever. No feeling lasts forever. Perhaps yoga is the best way to be able to understand to how to sit and to sit with that feeling and understand that there is wisdom to be had in dealing with the struggle. Yoga teaches us not to be afraid and not to turn away from the things that are difficult.
Released from 18 months in jail, Siley is now making plans for her new life. She's enrolled to study nursing.
I'm so excited to start school. This is gonna be my general, but hey, start next month, September. Looking forward to it.
I don't know, I just wanted a family to live outside. I want
to see how it feels like, but it was nice. The sun was out, and I was free.
If you asked me 30 years ago if I would be living a joyful life or a life that had many, many moments and many days of contentment and full of wonder, I would say that's not in the cards for me. And I have to say that my commitment to practice and my love of practice has given me a life, a more joyful, wonderful life that I ever dreamed was possible.
Celebrated yoga teacher and activist, give it up for Sean Ford.
As women, we have to wake up and not be afraid of our shadow, our passion. I encourage women always to take a deep breath and to take a risk and to know that everything that you need to know is already within your heart, and all you have to do is say yes.
Then inhale, bring your arms back over your head. And then pull that energy straight down into the heart.
And as women, we need to lift each other, to remind each other how incredibly fabulous we are.
To stand, to create, to commit, to unite, to unite.
There's 2 minutes left. I think these are just the end credits. Narration recorded at Margarita Nick, Santa Monica. Narrator, Catherine Beck. Photos courtesy of special thanks to the following yoga experts. Dedicated to all the women of yoga. A Second Nature Films and Yoga Kula production. Pluto TV. See, that's the app where I got Yoga Woman. Ugh. I'm probably going to end this live stream soon because my phone battery, the battery saver went on like a minute or so ago when there was like 15% battery left on this phone. But yeah, I still got my Roku plugged in, and see, you can see my Roku, but I wasn't holding my phone the entire time that the documentary was being filmed, because I had my phone in the stand, because it would have been an hour and 40 minutes, just probably under 20 minutes of 2 hours, and my arms would have hurt if I had to hold the phone all that while. So yeah, it was in a stand. I'm going to end this live stream now. Thanks for watching.